And we are live on YouTube. For people on YouTube, if you want to join the live stream, you have to seek me out on LinkedIn and find the company I work for, Wow, DEWWOW. And I think you should be able to register for the Zoom meeting in one of the prior events that were posted for this. So just look for like Tuesday's event. The link I think should be the same. And then you register on Zoom and then you can log in. Otherwise, if you post message questions in the chat, I will try to answer those. I'm not very good at it though. So for this session, I'm just going to be looking at the the release notes for the Spring 24 release. I started this on Tuesday, found a couple of cool features. There's obviously zillions and zillions of things to go through in here. I'm going to get my web browser shared here. Let's see. This one. Okay. So release notes. This I was trying to get a source for the new Einstein guy that is the mascot for the release. Found that it's a SVG that is in multiple pieces. So they must have some sort of JavaScript that stitches them all together and plays an animation whenever you log in. So I'm going to get into a pre-release org. Sandboxes are going to be coming out on the 6th. So you have to make sure that you refresh your sandbox by the 5th or earlier to ensure that you'll be on an instance that is receiving the pre-release. If you refresh after the 5th, then you will be on the winter 24 release. So I think there's a way to get to release notes through the help here. I haven't used this in a while. I could be wrong. Oh, it's right here. View release notes. And then last time I stumbled because I was in the wrong version, but here you can pick a specific release. I should probably make my screen bigger or smaller so you can see it. It's probably better. But no, I'm having a hard time getting enough space. So let me make it a little bit so that goes to one line. Okay. So geez, I don't remember where I was at in here. It's really hard to view. Customizations. Yeah, so I remember looking at Salesforce Connect, sharing pretty, yes, I think it was probably at the general setup. Handling callbacks asynchronously in Apex. Okay, I do remember reading this before, so I don't think that's new. Enforce view roles and role hierarchy permissions when editing public list views visibility. Only users with the view roles and role hierarchy permission can see or select from your org's list of roles when they edit public list view visibility. Okay. So when you're sharing a list view, list view. So I think it's talking about this, in which roles a person would be able to see. Only users with these two permissions can see or select from your org's list of roles. So I think that's what it's talking about. Remove updates to most recently used items to improve API performance. Automatically remove updates to MRU items based on the user to improve API performance. MRU items also impact how your search results are ranked. Salesforce recommends enabling this option only for integration users who use only APIs. Setup users, no MRU updates. Okay, so for it's so Salesforce gives you 5 free API only users. So I wonder if this applies to them. Select the users who don't need MRU updates. So it's weird. How do you actually select the users then? Um, select a user. I don't follow. Select users. Select the user who don't need MRU updates and select no MRU updates. There's no button up here. I don't follow. There's no action. Let's see if it's in here somewhere. Oh, here it is. You can turn it off per user. So this is interesting. Let me take a screenshot of this. Search. Screenshot. So I would do this for all the API users. Let's see. Remove updates. I'm sorry. See required fields at a glance on dynamic forms enabled page views. When you edit, create, or clone records on dynamic forms enabled pages, a message now tells you the fields with an asterisk that are required. I guess I never noticed that that wasn't there. Okay. Large images no longer run off the page in the record printable view. I almost never use this. Okay, so what that's I'm not even sure if this is on by default. So if you look at a record, I think there's like an action in here to say like printable, yeah, this printable view. It always looks horrible. So they're talking about images in here. Now fit. Get improved accessibility in list views. The pin list view button is now more visible. I'm sorry, has a more visible keyboard focus indicator when selected. It's bolder, I guess. Users can use keyboard to select list view header link. Charts panel. Yeah, so this is all accessibility stuff. I think most people won't notice these. Okay, Data Cloud. Everybody gets Data Cloud for free now. I've gone through most of the partner training for this, but I still haven't used it in a production situation. I'm gonna skip Data Cloud. I mean, it would be nice to know what some of the new features are, but AI in Data Cloud brings your own predictive AI models. Yeah, do more with data types. Yeah. Activate audiences to Snapchat. That's cool. LinkedIn. All right, I'm skipping it. Deployments. Ant is going away. Don't use Ant. If you're still using Ant, move on to sfdx stuff. I've used GearSet, FlowSum. I'm using Metazoa quite a bit right now. From a developer point of view, a lot of times I'm just using the command line, Visual Studio Code or VS Code, and creating a package file and then just deploying a package file. Select a different org, deploy the same package file. Lightning components. API versioning on a custom component guarantees that the LWC framework behaves as it did. Wasn't that always the case? Thought that was the whole point. I guess I didn't know that it didn't use the version before. Well, all LWC API versions of 58 and earlier are treated as 58. Huh. Okay. LWC API version 60 corresponds to version 5 in the LWC open source because LWC is an open source project. LWC Developers use LWC outside of Salesforce platform are impacted by additional breaking changes. Oh boy. Empty comment nodes replace empty text nodes. Custom components using LWC 6 year later render. Oh gosh, they're saying that for all this stuff. 60, version 60. It's just 3 of them. Render empty component nodes instead of empty text nodes in features like slots and light DOM. Okay. Renders additional white space characters. Okay. Decorators throw a syntax error in non-lightning element classes. Object rest and spread transpilation is removed. Transpilation. How it compiles it. So I don't know, this white space issue might cause issues for some components. And this could potentially break things, but I doubt people are looking for these specifically. Control workspace tabs and subtabs. Oh, great. So if you have an LWC that's living in a console app, there's an API, a workspace API, that will let you send commands to like close a tab, set focus, do all these tab related things. Okay. Search for records with the Lightning Record Picker component. So it's a new component called the Lightning Record Picker. Gives you standard interface for selecting a record. Yep, here's what it looks like. Great. I'll use that all the time. Render components in native shadow with a mixed shadow mode. This is just beta, so I'm skipping that. Migrate LWC projects from LWC Studio to Stack Blitz. What is Stack Blitz? LWC Studio is discontinuing its service and shutting down the online IDE. I didn't even know that was a thing. Get started, go to here. Let's see what that looks like. Well, I'm not impressed. StackBlitz is a third-party product. Maybe maybe they're getting hammered. It's a free version. Just sign in with GitHub. At 30 bucks, you can collaborate. Oh, maybe I have to log in. I don't know. Don't really have a need. Well, I don't know, maybe with working, trying to pair up with other developers that are in different parts of the country and being able to work together like real time on code, like doing like pair programming. Maybe being able to collaborate like this could be useful. Like if you can real time be editing the same code, that would be kind of neat, especially in a Salesforce world where you always have to like, if you're in the same sandbox, which I mean, you typically use separate sandboxes to avoid this, but if you're both editing the same code and then one deploys it and the other one saves it, then you stomp on each other. Maybe a tool like this would help avoid that. It's really hard to tell. I don't really get what it does. Salesforce isn't popular. What? How come Salesforce isn't right in the list here? Oh, is it a back end? Is it front end? Maybe LWC isn't listed here. Yeah, I don't know. ARIA is, I think, accessibility stuff. Not too concerned about that. API distortion changes in the Lightning Web security. Stuff is a little over my head. LDBS automatically uses closed shadow root mode. I'll have to look into that. Protects the shadow root internals from JavaScript manipulation. Okay. Monitor component events with custom component instrumentation API. You can now use. Okay. Directly monitor and track events or interactions with custom Lightning Web components in your org's event monitoring. Previously, event monitoring tools tracked only insights about your application as a whole, such as record loads and page performance. And event monitoring, I think, is a separate product that you get with like Shield, or you may even have to buy additionally, even if you have Shield. I think it comes with Shield. Yeah, this change is available to customers who purchase Shield or event monitoring add-on, so you can buy it separate. I have used it in the past, but well before I was doing any LWC stuff. Even like, so this event monitoring, you get like basic event monitoring with every org, but I think it's turned off by default now. So you have to event monitoring settings, yeah. So this, it used to be on by default, and then in some release, probably a year ago, they went through all the orgs and like shut everybody off. And now you have to go out of your way to turn it back on. So I guess this is the new one. But in your org, I don't know if it's useful or not. You can see login information, which some auditors like to see. Be aware of base component. Be aware of base component lightning input, internal DOM structure changes. Salesforce is preparing the base lightning. So this is just it's a component called lightning input, and it's just one of the standard ones that other things are built on. To adapt native shadow DOM to enhance performance and comply with web security stuff. Yeah. Lightning input. This change applies lightning experience on all versions of Salesforce. Since spring components have been adapted to prior 24 addition to other components, internal structures are changing. It should be fine. Oh, but if you're using, oh yeah, automated tests could break because of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never really gotten into automated testing for LWC components, so it won't impact me, but so this is more, so these are all the things, other ones that it's going to be changing to, like basically all of them. Okay, Visualforce. Enable JSON access annotation validation for the Visualforce JavaScript remoting API. The remoting API, I think, is a way for you to do asynchronous calls between Apex and Visualforce. I haven't really used it much. I really haven't done much Visualforce in the last couple of years. Using the null coalescer, coalescer. So there's a double question mark now. And the way it works is I think if the left side has a value, it uses that. But if this is null, then it uses this value. If it has a value, otherwise it's set to null and doesn't error out. I think that's how it works. Yep. So it's cleaner. Like this line is easier to read than this line. So instead of using this one, you go with that one. Get support for randomly generated Uyu IDs. Wow. We can generate GUIDs now. That's cool. It's weird how they don't give you an example of what the format is. It's its own type. And it's 1 o'clock. So I gotta jump on another meeting. But I will be continuing this every Tuesday and Thursday.